Good evening, everybody. Hopefully we've hit the right button. Do you know what? Honestly, this is the truth. Very rarely are we here and ready early. And today we have been here for 5 minutes. We have been proper ready and we've been sat here or stood here. And I said to people, whenever we are here early, something always goes terribly wrong. And of course, when it got to 2 minutes to 7, we hit live or go live as we should to go live. And instead it offered us to do us a test. I don't know what this test is. It took me back to my days of exams at school. Come over all of a nervous quiver. Of course, it didn't work. We then went to some sort of test format. It didn't go right. And then we had to cancel it and start again. You don't need to know all of this, I'm sure. But it's always when we think we're prepared in life, we're really not. But hopefully it is now working and you are joining us for the first time, potentially, or maybe the second time, because if you caught the test one, there's just us not really too sure what we're doing and how we're doing it and why. But hopefully you are joining us live on our Monday night natter at 7 p.m. on Monday. The what of the what? The 11th of October?
I'm not used to these sort of tests.
I think it is the 11th of October today, isn't it?
It's 13th.
Is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, I was. Yeah, I can see where I went wrong there. It is the 5th. Maybe that's why technologically we are being got.
Don't
anyway,
worry, you have tuned in to the correct broadcast.
maybe.
Jamie and
Who
Pete
knows?
live on a Monday night.
Who knows? But if you are with us, please let us know that you can hear us and you can see us, because it would be lovely to know that we aren't actually just talking to ourselves again, because we've already done that once this evening. Let's have a little check in the comments, shall we, and see who is with
Sue
us.
says good morning.
Good morning, good
On a day
evening,
like
good
us.
night. But that was the Truman Show that they used to say that, wasn't
Was
it?
it?
I don't know if you've ever paid attention to the Truman
No,
Show.
not really.
But Truman used to say to his neighbour, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, in case I don't see you again. Something like that.
Oh, okay.
I love the Truman Show. I don't know why. I'm probably quoting that completely wrong. And we really are not sticking on the tangent we should be. Should we say hello to a few people? Good evening, Kathleen. Good evening, Sue. Good evening, Lynn, Bethan, Sue, Sharon, Kim, Lynn, Siobhan, Sharon, Mandy, Michelle. It's lovely to have you all with us. It is really nice that you're here. Are we okay? Yeah, I think we're okay-ish, aren't we? Very nice for you to check we're in with us, Hayley. Thank you very much. But I think we're okay. I hope everybody else is too. Good evening, Rosie. Good evening, Jasmine. Good evening, Deborah, Sue. Lou, it is lovely to have you all with us. Lou, hi everyone. Can't stay long as I've now lost it. This isn't going to go well tonight, is it?
It's her birthday tomorrow.
Well, I thought it was her birthday, and then I see the word niece, and then I wasn't too sure before I wished somebody happy birthday who I was wishing happy birthday. But happy birthday, Lou. I hope you have a lovely birthday for tomorrow. Good evening to Judy in Colorado, and good evening to Rob too. It's lovely to have you all here. Should we try and get this train back on track? Because I have a feeling we've careered well off of the edge. It's not gone well, has it already? I'm already 3 minutes in. Okay, tonight is, of course, our stockist launch night, which again is in itself rather confusing because it still isn't available. You still can't get it. I don't know why we have stockist launch day the day before it's the day, because it isn't really a launch day, is it? It's not a launch day till tomorrow. But we have these and I blame Peter. So tonight we celebrate that tomorrow morning is actually officially stockist launch day, and you're going to be able to go and get our brand new Jamie Rogers Crafts collection from your favourite stockists. I happen to have a little list here of all of the stockists that have it available or will do in the coming days. So as of 10 a.m. tomorrow, the brand new festive tile collection will be available from Gilly's Crafts, Affordable Crafting, Hazel's Crafts, The Art of Crafts, Unicorn Crafts, Cheshire Crafts, Julia Watts Crafts, Craft Mania, Into Craft and Craft Bliss. Internationally, you will be able to track these products down at Picture Stamps in New Zealand and the Paper and Ink Boutique in Canada. If you have any questions, please let us know. And if, of course, any of our stockists are here with us this evening, if you haven't already tuned out, wondering what on earth you have tuned into, it would be a joy if you was to pop some links in the comments to tell us where to go to find these products when they are available as of 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So if you are here, please do drop a link with a little description, or if you don't have a link, maybe you don't have an online presence, that's absolutely fine. We can fully support our bricks and mortar stores too. Tell us a little bit about who you are and where you are. Just one comment, just so we can see that you're with us. It'd be nice to do that. I always feel like we're doing a bit of a seance when I do this part. It's like, are you there?
Can anyone hear?
Are you there? I feel like I need one of them little Yeah, we won't go there. Something is blibbing in here.
We'll
What
be
is
back
it?
to Mystic Meg shortly, won't
Is it my iPad?
No,
I've got a
it's-
blib. Is it you?
It's me, I think. But I'm on silent.
There's a lot of blibbing. There's a lot of blibbing. Can you hear the blibbing? If you can hear the
Don't think
blibbing
I can
too,
hear
I
the
think
blibbing.
Pete gets a naughty star on his chart.
Wow.
If it is down to Peter, you'll have to let us know. Good evening, Hadrian's Hobbies. Good evening, Catherine. Kim, that's a very kind comment. I've kind of felt we kind of got off the boil slightly. So I'm glad that you think we're doing okay. Good evening, Porsche. Lovely to have you here too. There's lots of you. It's a joy to have you all here. We never take it for granted that you join us for these, especially when they do kind of go off the boil slightly. So this evening, what are we looking at? Let's keep it back on track, shall we? We'll chat homework later on, I promise. We will chat upcoming events. There is lots going on actually this week. If we look fried and dazed and confused, it's because of we genuinely are. This week we are also going to be back with you on Wednesday night, aren't we? So if this wasn't bad enough tonight, you can come back and join us Wednesday. Wednesday at 7 p.m, we will be taking a sneaky peek at the brand new woodware collection that is going to be launching on Hobbymaker exclusively on Monday, the 20th of October at 3 p.m. and 8 p.m. So join us Wednesday at 7 p.m. for that event. Gwen will be back with you on Thursday at 7 p.m. as well, where she will be revisiting the COG collection to bring you more inspiration with that one. And actually that's going to really help you if you're taking part in this week's homework, because that's all travel and sort of esque inspired. So you might well enjoy Gwen's lives. Of course you enjoy them anyway, but you might enjoy it for that little bit of inspiration to help you with the homework. But we'll chat missions, we'll chat homework winners later. Should we get on with actually looking at what's new and tell you a little bit more about that in case you haven't seen it? Because I have a feeling that you're probably bored of my endless waffle already, because I know I would be. Okay, so this week we are talking about and launching officially tomorrow at 10 a.m. the next instalment in our tile collection. So many of you may remember that last year we launched our first instalment in the tile collection, and we will look at that shortly, but we're adding a brand new Christmas spin on it. And I know you've seen lots of this on our Sneaky Peek last week, and you have potentially watched the shows that we did on Hobbymaker on Friday. Friday was Friday, wasn't it? Well, on Monday, that was Friday. Do you remember the times?
2 and 6.
2 and 6. 2 and 6, 26.
It was only
We
a
could
couple
do a bit of
days
bingo.
ago.
2 and 6. It was only the other day. We should remember this, but we don't.
should.
So if you haven't caught them shows, you can of course watch them back on catch up. But this is all about the tiles, and the tiles are beautiful. These are your stamps. There are 3 new sets of stamps. I'll show you the coordinating die shortly, so you can cut these images out if you wish to. Of course, you don't have to have the die. You don't have to cut them out. You can stamp them and make up beautiful backgrounds. You can use them just as an individual stamp, or of course you can trim around them with scissors if you like to fussy cut. But the die does give you a really lovely edge and a slightly wider frame to them. In this set, which is your poinsettia set, as you can see, it pretty much all features beautiful poinsettias, which again is really lovely because especially with this one here, we can use it in any direction, which is kind of lovely because obviously when we put words on them, you're kind of guided to be a portrait or landscape, where with that one, it can kind of go off in any direction and gives you a bit more freedom. We've got Christmas wishes, we've got Merry Christmas, we've got Happy Christmas, and we've got the word joy. We've also got a beautiful little snowflake, and as you can see, we've got several different sizes, which are of course going to work beautifully with that matching die set to give you lots of different options. I'm just going to whisk through a few beautiful cards, and a huge call out to our incredible design team who have genuinely made the lion's share of these. Now I know we gave them individual call outs last week on the Sneaky Peek, but truthfully we couldn't do it without them, so thank you to all of you who have helped with these and made our job and life a little bit easier and shared your incredible talents and inspiration with us, because of it just wouldn't be the same without your take on them. That was set number 1. Let's have a little look at set number 2, shall we? So set number 2 is our winter scenes set. Now this time, as you can see, very sort of festive wintry scenes. We've got our beautiful deer out with a log cabin in the forest, and of course this matches in beautifully with our die set that we had under the Jamie Rogers Crafts release. So when was that? August? When we went with Rodney?
Yeah.
I think that was
Yeah, I think it was
about
August.
August time. But
Yeah.
that coordinates perfectly with this set if you'd like to. You've got Merry Christmas, Merry and Bright, Home for Christmas, and then you've got Merry Christmas down here, and of course some beautiful little images as well running through these ones. Again, when we start bringing these into some samples, you're going to see this, and this is lovely because not only have we got them matching in with the new or the original die set, we've also got the original stencils being used here too, and it's also nice to see how we can use the smaller pieces to complement the big pieces as well, and we'll show you all of those shortly. Now, if you are brand new and you're stuck with us and you haven't already run for the hills thinking this guy's crazy, the tile collection, if you've not seen it before, is all about the ability to tessellate and build up backgrounds. And when we take our stamps and we cut them out with our dies and we start pattern matching them and pattern building them, this is what we mean about tessellating and building and literally creating the look of a tiled floor or a tiled wall. And this is what I absolutely love because it means that we can stamp them, we can personalise them, we can colour them, and then we can build them up to be whatever size background we want it to be. So whether we're going to do really big Christmas decorations, whether we're going to go for scrapbook pages, whether we're going to go for cards, it's down to you how big or small you wish to take that and build it. And I always think that's a really lovely ability to have because it takes what can be a small element and turns it into whatever size you want it to be. Now, isn't this one gorgeous? This one's done by our lovely Diane on the design team, and again, she's brought in that matching stencil from the original collection, as well as the new stamps, as well as the dies, and the new Happy Christmas stamp we'll look at shortly too. And I promise we'll get on with some demos and show you a bit more inspiration with these. Now, that was stamp number 2. Let's introduce you to stamp number 3. So stamp number 3 is all about the sentiments. That is this set here, and this time we have got Just For You, Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Season's greetings, Happy Christmas and Happy New Year in joy and with love. So lots going on this set. Again, when we come into some incredible samples, and this is lovely. This one's done with our beautiful paper that we're going to be looking at shortly. This again officially launches with our stockists tomorrow morning at 10 AM, the papers. And they proved incredibly popular on Hobby Maker. And I have a feeling that they're going to sell out pretty sharpish, and we're going to kind of be on a bit of a waiting game to get those back in. So if you've been looking at the papers and you've potentially been thinking, well, there's something you're going to add into your shopping list or onto your shopping list, then yeah, when it gets to tomorrow, I wouldn't dilly-dally too much with them. I think they're going to prove quite popular. They already did on air. I have a feeling they will with a stockist too. This is a new creation that I actually did kind of as we was packing up to run out of the door the other day to go to the Hobby Maker shows. So I know you didn't see this on last week's sneaky peek, but these are great for creating little hanging embellishments or baubles, whether you wish to connect them to a garland, hang them on a tree, hang them in the aperture of your cards. They could of course be all of the above, and they could be any size you'd like them to be. I've gone for the size of the stamp, but there is actually a larger die that can go behind that to make that bigger, or of course we could have gone down and done them with the smaller ones, or we could have even done to free hanging to make sort of more of a decoration instead of just one-off hanging bauble as such. So lots of ways in which we can use them and shape them. Now, we've mentioned this die, the die that kind of is the part that brings all of that lot together and works with it all. Let's show you that before we forget. Your stamps, by the way, all of the ones we've been looking at, the recommended retail price to these is $11.99 per set. Just in case you haven't seen the sort of sneaky peeks before or the shows, might be nice to give you a few shout outs on pricing. The nested die set, this is the die set that is going to coordinate with all of those stamps. And as you can see, I'll bring in this one. This is one of our original stamps. The dies actually go larger than the stamps, but you have got every size you need to coordinate with the stamps as well. So you've got options is what I'm trying to say. Not only those, there are more options as well. And the actual die set, this is $15.99. When this one cuts out, not only does it cut out, it also debosses a beautiful line running around the inside of the shape too, so that you've got a really professional finish to each of your cutouts. Whether you choose to stamp with them or whether you wish to then build up on top of them or decorate them as plain elements. They certainly don't have to work together, but of course when we bring them together, to me that's when the magic happens. Now, as I mentioned, not only did we have the die in the original collection, we also had free stamps in the original set. And maybe you've tuned into this on Hobby Maker, or you see the sneaky peek last week and you've seen all of the new stamps. You might not know there was free originals. These are your original sets, and these are the ones that take you all throughout the year. There is Happy Birthday, there is Butterfly Florals, and there is Ornate Patterns. One of my favourites to go for in this set, of course, Happy Birthday is great because it's going to carry you through every birthday all year, whatever the age, whatever the style. But I also really like the Ornate Patterns. And with this one, we left it open so you can actually fit smaller stamps inside that aperture. So maybe you go for the Christmas ones and you're looking at, let's say, that Merry Christmas, and you want to bring that Merry Christmas in and stamp that inside that aperture. That is going to fit perfectly for you. And it might not be that you want to use that one. It might be that you wish to go for the Christmas tree. So, of course, the Christmas tree is also going to come in and fit perfectly within that opening. Or it could be that you want to use the butterflies or the presents. Or it might even be that you don't wish to use the actual size that's intended to go in there, the matching size. You might prefer to actually think, well, I'm going to go down to the next size down, and we're going to go for Joy, and we're going to have that beautiful frame set around that instead. It just gives you more options and a great way to take small stamps or smaller ones, make them bigger, make them look intentional. And this can be really nice if you're going to make some 3D baubles and you're going to stick them back to back to back to back to back. Maybe you want to do some of those with like the big Merry Christmas, for instance, but you're thinking, well, I don't want endless pictures running throughout them. Maybe what we'll do is we'll use this as the other sections and then put smaller pictures within them. Or maybe we're going to use this and bring that in a die and cut that part out in the centre and then suspend in the centre of that one of the smaller elements. Does that all make sense? Hopefully it just covers a few of the options that are available by having the original stamps as well as the new stamps too. Now, P, I'm going to put you on the spot here. I'm sorry.
Annika's out.
I have a feeling that we don't have hundreds of these, or there's one of them that you're literally down to like 20s of. Have I dreamt this?
No.
No, I know, and this isn't this is a genuine question. I know that when we spoke about this, we were talking about putting them back on Hobby Maker, and you told me we didn't have enough of them. What one do we need to be conscious of if we're looking at a stockist tomorrow? Which one's likely to be the one that we're going to struggle to find? Yeah, I'll let you research. We'll look at the next item, but I just felt it's always nice. I say this all the time, and I know it's hard because you might think, oh, he's just trying to pressure me into it. I'm really not. I just know that I'm somebody who writes endless shopping lists, and then when I get to the point that I can actually get the item, there's nothing worse than if that item's then sold out. So if I can tell you in what order to kind of prioritise the bits that you want to get so you don't miss out and you don't have to wait for them to come back, I always think that's a nice bit of kind of shared knowledge. You don't have to listen to us at all, but it's sometimes nice that I've been honest with you and told you what I know is kind of be available and what isn't.
It's the birthday one that's the lower.
The birthday, so that makes sense,
Just
doesn't
in
it?
double.
Let's be honest. The birthday one is beautiful. The birthday one, of course, has Happy Birthday on the bunting. You've got birthday wishes. You've got Happy Birthday right on the present. And I always like a birthday set that gives you kind of presents and balloons and bits because they don't have to just be for birthdays, do they? They could be all throughout the year. Okay, so also in the original collection, and I know I'm kind of yo-yoing off in different directions, but I think it's important you see all of these. These are your matching stencils. Now again, these can work perfectly with a new Christmas collection. They can work completely standalone. They can work with a die set. They can work with the original stamps. It's kind of hard when you do an original collection and then you bring a new collection to know just how much to kind of show you everything. But to me on the lives, it's our chance to kind of explain it and share it with you in case you haven't seen it. These are brilliant to emboss with. So whenever we're talking about our stencils, they're cut from a really nice deep mylar, thick mylar. So when we come to embossing them, we get really great sort of prominence to that embossing. Not only are they great for embossing, and this is something I really like doing with these, I can blend my ink through them and I can stamp on the top of them with the matching designs and everything is beautifully spaced out for me. This, of course, is with our ornate tile design, but that could equally be with one of the Christmas designs and we could have gone for some different colours. That works across the board for all of the different sizes, so whether we're looking for the small one, the medium one or the large one, everything kind of works in those two formats, whether you wish to emboss them. Of course, you can use them with all your texture paste and your misters and mediums too, but they are great for blending through and stamping on top of to make some really cool and interesting backgrounds. Those are all available. These should be $6.99 each. Recommended retail price?
Currently $5.99, but sadly they are heading up to £6.99.
Okay, so keep an eye on those because they are on the increase. Okay, now this pack, I'm going to dig into this because I think it's always better that you actually see it. This again is, well, we'll give it to Pete in a second to put back. He's got nothing to do over there. Let's pick on poor Pete this evening. So in here you will find that you have got all of your major pieces. Now these are beautiful because again, the reason I wanted these is that these come in and they sit over the top of the stamped images. I think I've got them all there, haven't I? Have I got them all? I think I've got them all. But they come in and they sit over the top of the stamped images. So let me grab a stamp set just once again, just in case you're not too sure what I mean by that. If you've stamped your image down and you want to bring this in, lay it over the top and then blend, mist, create something extra, send it through the machine and deboss it so you've got that pattern on it, or emboss it depending on what way you want to go around it. Maybe you want to place this over the top and add another stencil and go through the top of that stencil and only get that area. Whatever way you wish to do it, this is going to be your protective area to go around your stamped image. Equally, because if we can, not only do we give you this part, we give you the negative as well. So maybe you wish to stamp that and you wish to lay that over the top as a shield and then come in with your misters or again with your inks and actually colour over the top of it and mask off that area underneath it. Or once again, maybe you wish to stamp it and then send this through to raise it and emboss it on your machine with your rubber mats. But it goes for every single size. You have got all of the pieces you need to go all the way through here. And these are the same size as your dies. So once again, everything is going to coordinate perfectly for you. And in your pack, you will receive all of these elements right the way down to the very dinky one, right the way up to the one that's actually bigger than the stamp set itself. So it gives you 12 pieces within that set. And we'll pass them off to Pete so he can rebag them. Poor Pete sits over there and kind of gets lumbered with tidying up of all of my bits and bobs. Do we have any questions, Peter, before we move on to the next section?
No, I don't think so. Kathleen's put a little comment. She says, been waiting for the gold bullion wax to come back in. They did come back in, so she's adding that to her order tomorrow. Oh, very good, very good. Yeah, they are now here, which is lovely to see. Held up because of our typhoon.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know how. I'm sure the rest of the world is very much more up to date with the news than I am. I kind of live under a rock, if I'm honest. But it wasn't till Pete told me that there's been a big typhoon in China that kind of shut them all down and they kind of closed all the factories and grounded flights, and that went on for about a week, didn't it? So that caused a bit of a delay, to be honest with you, that we didn't predict or expect. But thankfully, I think they're back up and running and all's okay.
All is good. They're back from their national holiday.
Everyone's good.
Yeah.
And then they had a holiday.
They did.
Had a holiday, which is more than allowed. Okay, so let's have a little look at our next one, shall we? So then in this new set, we have also bought you 3 new DL die sets. Now this, I'd like to just point out, matches in with our Frosty Snowflake corners. Now this is one of the very first dies that we did last year. I'm doing it again. Was it last year? It was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah,
was it the year before?
No.
Was it? It can't be 1 year. We do this every week, don't we? Was it really last year that we started Christmas?
I think we launched. Well, we launched June, didn't we?
But it wasn't last June we launched. It must be actually, because we celebrated our first birthday this June, didn't we? Yeah, sorry, we did this last week. Sorry, guys. It's been a long week.
It's been a long year.
It's been a long year. Feels like a decade. I can't lie, but a good decade. So, okay, sticking with where we should be. So these ones come out last year. These ones recommended retail price by member is $12.99, but they give you your corner elements. Whenever I fall in love with a design that we've created, I like to see if I can bring it back in as many formats as we can, because not only do I really like the intricacy of the design, the more we bring you that coordinates with it, to me, the better that is, because it means that I can use this as my outside panel to my project. I can then tie that on the inside of my project with having the matching corners wrapped around my insert, and it just gives a luxury vibe. It shows that everything's thought through, it shows that everything's going to coordinate. So whether you've already got these in your stash or maybe they're one you'd still like to add to your collection, we of course have them available for you. But it is really all about our brand new Snowflake DL panel, and the new panels, the recommended retail price to these ones are $19.99. These ones are slightly larger than the DL panels we brought out last month, because last month we gave you a frame within the set and an edge and then your main panel. So the main panel was slightly smaller. If you have got the deals that we brought out last month, do not fear, they will all, of course, work together. And actually, it's kind of lovely because of those frames that come with these will fit perfectly over the top of these snowflake panels and the other two that I'm going to be sharing with you shortly. But to give you an idea of what I mean by that, when we actually look to the main panel itself, you can see where we allowed room for the outside frame, there is a bit of a size difference between where we are with the filigree panel to where we are with this one. And that genuinely, it's like a lot of things in life, isn't it? Kind of has good and bad, depending on what way you wish to look at it. For me, because we're giving you, where with these ones, we was giving you more pictures, with pictures potentially being slightly smaller on frame, and them gave you kind of more options in where you went with them. With a background, and this is something I always try to kind of remind myself as much as everybody else. If we give you delicate backgrounds like this, it doesn't really matter where you cut them off to. The bigger we give them to you, the more scope you've got to go bigger. But if you wanted to say, well, actually, I only make A6 cards, there's no reason you couldn't stop at an A6 with this and just use that part of it to be your A6. Or if you said, well, I only make square cards and I only do 3x3, this would still work. You know, that pattern's so intricate, you can pick wherever you want it to be at whatever stage. And Diane's done some lovely crackers and used just sections of them on her crackers, and that really does show her sections are about that big, and yet they still look really delicate and really pretty. But you start looking at this and thinking, well, that could be a ribbon, that could be a nice edge. Or like the video that Emma shared earlier this week on the main page, where she used one of her frames and used it on the edge of her card and just used part of it, that would work in the same sense too. So you could cut them on edges of your cardstock. If I ever stop waffling and we do some demos, we might look at something similar to that shortly, I promise. If we get there. And you haven't all left me and fell asleep. You can, of course, cut them larger because they can match up. So if you'd like to go to bigger panels, you can do that too, which is what I've done here. I've cut two side by side so it goes larger. And then here's one where we've hung the baubles in the middle instead.
Best behaviour, Gwen is in the building.
Oh, Gwen, don't join us today, honestly.
Fresh back from her demo day.
She is fresh back from her demo day.
She is.
She's back. She's had a roll around the garden and she's
she
back.
She has had a roll in the hay, some might say, but not quite like that.
So on to our next one, moving swiftly on before we incriminate ourselves any further. This is our DL panel for our poinsettias. So this time we have got our poinsettias debossed within the panel, and this is going to match in with the poinsettia die set, which I'm going to show with you as well while we're here. These are individual cuts but on one panel, and they match up and layer on top of your background panel so that you can 3D them if you wish to. You can of course use either set individually, you don't have to use them together, but if you'd like to really build those up like one of the demos I'm hoping to share with you this evening, then you absolutely can do if you'd like to. I also, and I haven't done this yet, but I was thinking about this earlier, I had one of the cuts that I did at Hobby Maker and I was unpacking the boxes and I looked at it and I was like, why haven't I thought of this before? Because I often do this, it's not till after the shows to actually, my ideas come out. And I was thinking, although it's got poinsettias on here, we could so easily go in and put some daisies or some really beautiful flowers over the top. It certainly doesn't, we'd give you the landing spot for the poinsettia, but as long as we went slightly bigger, you wouldn't even have to necessarily be bigger because it just looked like foliage coming out from underneath it. But we could put some other flowers on here as well. Because of this is such an ornate, beautiful, swirly background, there's nothing actually in that bit that's telling us anything about the flower that's meant to be on top here. So you could certainly layer different flowers on it as well if you want to. But if you do want to stick with a flower it's intended to layer with, then of course we have that for you too. This poinsettia die set is $11.99. We'll have a little look at more inspiration from that one shortly. And of course the DL panel is $19.99 as with all of them. And while we're looking at the poinsettias, we're going to skim off a little and we're going to look at this one because this is our poinsettia circle, and this is the same idea again. It gives you the circle format for you to build up on top of, and your die is going to cut and deboss in your beautiful details that you can then layer your flowers on top of. And this die set is $17.99 is its recommended retail price, to give you a little bit of an idea of that one. But again, shows you how you can build up on those landing spaces and create some really pretty and beautiful effects if that's what you'd like to do with them. Lastly, in the poinsettia family, just while we're here, I'm also going to take you and show you this one too. This one is our elegant poinsettia oval, and this one's recommended retail price is $22.99. And this one matches in again with that poinsettia die set. The die set can fit underneath these flowers so that you can actually have colour shining through from under them, and they will fit beautifully under there. There's just a few cards here to give you a bit of inspiration on what you could be doing with these. Again, you can choose to build up on top of them or behind them, or of course you can leave them as a filigree panel as they are. And this one actually has a bit of a party trick going back to the original collection. The original collection that we brought out last year featured the elegant butterfly oval. And in this one, you received a lattice tile panel in the centre. With the Christmas poinsettia version, you've got this stripe panel. These actually interchange. So if you do happen to collect both of these, you will have some interchangeability between them, just giving you a bit more scope to get creative. The butterfly one is absolutely beautiful, and it matches in beautifully with our elegant butterfly die set. So if you would like to die cut the butterflies and layer them on top of the oval, then that works for you as well. So again, I know it's kind of bamboozling because I'm throwing original collection and new collection at you all in one go, but I always think it's really nice that you get to see how everything works together. Even when we're looking at items that come out a year ago, brand new items are still working and sort of mixing and matching to make sure that we bring you as much versatility as we possibly can in every way, shape and form. You know, it's not always possible, but where it is possible, we are absolutely going to do that for you to try and make it as creative and as interesting and as fun as it can humanly possibly be. Now, we mentioned Diane's crackers earlier, didn't we? These are the sections I was on about around the crackers. So when we look down to like the ends of them, we've literally got, what is that, about 1.25 inches by 2 inches maybe? These little sections on here. And yet that die still looks absolutely beautiful. This one is our holly panel I'm going to be introducing you to in just a second. But it could, of course, be the snowflakes instead, if you prefer, or the swirls with the poinsettias on. But this one has got lots of elements. We've got our tiles on here, we've got our Happy Christmas, we've got our backgrounds, we've got that beautiful, elegant poinsettia oval used on the top of the box as well. And you've got your original nesting set of dies coming in as well to create the frame on the top. So lots of elements throughout both collections, the original and the new one, being used harmoniously to create that effect. Now in the main collection, there is one more new item to introduce you to, and that is our Holly DL. Again, one that is $19.99 is your recommended retail price for this one. And this one again coordinates perfectly with our Holly Corners. So again, going back to a release from last year, our Jolly Holly Corners. We lost the Jolly for our panel this year. What happened there? I looked to the naming department. What happened to my Jolly?
We're less jolly this year.
I've always loved the fact my corners are called Jolly Holly because they always make me smile when I think of them or say them. And I hadn't twigged till now. We'd lost the Jolly. I might have to get some Tipp-Ex out and add that to every single packet. That's going to take me a while, isn't it?
Does that mean I've earned a star?
I think that's the third star you've earned this evening. Yeah. I think third.
I think you've earned a couple.
But it does all coordinate throughout for you. So again, you've got your corners to go possibly, potentially, maybe over the top or on the inside of your project, but matching in beautifully with that background panel so that it all works in conjunction. Now, as Gwen is here, I am going to once again shout out that I was bamboozled by Gwen's tip that she shared on one of her lives recently, where she took her die cut like so, and then all of the pieces that was left in the die cut, she placed a self-adhesive sheet over the top of it and then pulled them out of it and then infilled that area with glitter. And that's exactly what I've done here. I'm going to hold these two side by side so you can see what I mean. And it was completely inspired by Gwen. I'd never seen that done before. Even when she did it, and you must have this, you probably have this all the time when you're watching me, because I do, and when I'm watching me do it, I go to do something and I go, is that going to work? Does that really work? And she stuck that self-adhesive to that die. And I think I even said to Pete, oh, this could be tricky. And no, off she went and she pulled it away and all of the bits was in it. And I was like, she knows what she's doing.
She's a true pro.
And I was like, I'm going to have to give that a go. And this was like the next day, I come in and did these. And I was like, because to me, all of these times I've been knocking my waist out and kind of getting rid of it. And actually, that is literally a 2-for-1 experience, isn't it? It's a two backgrounds out of one die cut kind of way. So if you've missed that, you can catch up on all of our lives on our YouTube channel and of course on the Facebook page you're watching this on currently. But for Facebook, they're only here for 30 days. So if you'd like to catch up after that, then pop over to the YouTube channel, which of course is Creative Expressions, and all of the lives are uploaded onto that about a day later, maybe 2, depending on where it kind of falls. So all I did was exactly what Gwen shared with us, and then infilled the rest of the area with glitter. But again, giving us that 2-for-1 experience or 2-for-1 look. Just a few more here. Again, this one's a great one to batch cut or tile cut or background cut, whatever you'd like to know it as, to build up to a bigger background. Same with this one here. This is actually one I demonstrated as the first demo on Hobby Maker this week, if you'd like to see this one actually come together. Excuse me, sorry. Nothing worse than somebody coughing at you over a live, is there? Sorry. Okay, then there's just one more new item to introduce you to, and then I promise I'll stop waffling and we'll actually share with you some more inspiration from this collection. So our last new item, which exclusively comes out tomorrow, actually that's a lie because I've got to talk to you about the papers, but comes out tomorrow, is our Happy Christmas Lines stamp set. Now this matches with our pinstripe stamp set, so you can add that over the top if you wish to, but of course you can use it on its own, and it's just a great background stamp that gives you that happy Christmas vibe, whether we go vintage, whether we go modern, whether we go really pretty like this one here from Wendy, and actually layer up on top of it with our different dies from this collection, as well as that background stamp. If you haven't heard of the pinstripe stamp before, this again is one of our original stamps, and this literally sits over the top of it, so you can stamp your lines in one colour and your Happy Christmas in another colour. And you know us, we like to build a bit of a library. This is another one of those items that we are building a library to. So not only do we have our line, not only do we have our new Happy Christmas, excuse me, sorry, we have Happy Birthday, we have floral lines, we have snowflakes, and we have 2 stencils, one with Christmas icons and one with star lines, and they all fit between that pinstripe lines to give you different effects. And I'm sure, and this isn't a confession or a sneaky, but I'm sure in time we're going to have to add something more into that line as well. There's no official plan on that yet, is there? Or maybe it's time to do a new line. I don't know, but I honestly don't know. I haven't given that any thought. I'm kind of waffling now, but I'm sure there'll be more to it later down the line. Later down the line, what am I like?
It's definitely worth a star. Definitely star worthy.
Sorry, I don't think that's fair, honestly.
Oh, I do.
I don't. Okay, last item, and then we're going to do some demos. Our last brand new item, very exciting, is our brand new papers. Now these are our linen texture papers. There are 10 sheets in each pack. They're 130 GSM, and they come in 7 colours. You have got ivory, this beautiful sage. Ooh, I love that. That to me just makes me happy. I love a light racing green, that kind of Harrodsy greeny green. Like rich felt, and elegant. And team that with that beautiful red. That's Christmas, isn't it? That's luxury Christmas, especially actually with the ivory in it as well. Or maybe you want to go a bit more rustic with the browns. That's lovely. That one's tree bark. This one's calico. And then there's woodland grey and charcoal. Beautiful papers. I have some of these somewhere to share with you. If I can find them. Let's find a sheet, because I like to rip them. I keep ripping them. But this has got a beautiful texture to it. I'm going to hold this up so hopefully you can see it. Can you see the depth of the texture? Isn't that wow? Now this, of course, you can highlight with inks, you can highlight with waxes if you wish to. You can die cut this, you can emboss this. And now I am going to get in trouble. You can, oh no, I can say this now, I feel. I can, can't I? On Wednesday, when we are back for Woodwear Sneaky Peek at 7 PM, we have got some incredible samples that have been created by Siobhan and by Laura to share with you. And we'll have more, of course, from me and Christine. And then, of course, Francoise will do loads too. But on Wednesday, I'm going to be sharing with you those two. And I'm sure Siobhan has as well, because I know Laura has. But I feel I see some from Siobhan too. There is, isn't there? I haven't dreamt this. Where they've been stamping on this paper. If you haven't already, and I said this on our live last week, and Laura jumped in the comments and said, yes, you can. Because I said, can we stamp on it? Because it wasn't something I'd done. And she said, yes, you can. Today I see, yes, you can. And wow. And I genuinely mean wow. Where they've been stamping on it and colouring it, wow is the word. So on Wednesday, you could have already ordered this and have it en route to you. Tune in on Wednesday and we will share with you how that's going to look when you stamp on it, so you can see what you're going to be heading for. But it is genuinely, truthfully, wow. It looks like artist canvas, doesn't it? And to actually have that artist canvas look, but from a paper, to me, maybe it's just me, but my mind was blown. This also has a matching colour core, so if you do wish to die cut it, tear it, create some really lovely feathered edges to it, it's going to look really, really yummy. And that again is one of our new items, which officially launches with our stockists at 10 AM tomorrow morning.
Our lovely
Thank you.
Diane is with us. Evening, Diane.
Good evening, Diane.
Naughty Diane. I don't know why she's naughty. She always is naughty. Anyway, she says a bunny line might be nice for Easter.
Bunny
Go in
line?
your lines.
I'm trying to think of what I'm allowed to say regarding Easter. Can you hear the cogs
I
turning?
can. That's why I vetted the comment first.
What am I allowed to say about Easter, Peter? I don't know. But that would be a nice idea.
What do you want to say about Easter? Apart from we might already have it.
We already have what? Easter?
Well, in the... I don't know.
There's only one way we could still be on about Easter, and that's if we were thinking of last
Have you
year.
got some cream eggs?
Cream eggs. Oh, cream egg McFlurries. You can't take me off on that again. Okay, so what we're going to do, should we do some demos? But yes, that would be lovely, Diane. And never say never is all I'm going to say to that one, because there's possibly a potential way in which that might work. I wonder what else we could do for them lines. I don't know. We need to give it some thought. I have done an awful lot of planning and an awful lot of designing for the next year. And I hadn't thought about my line, but I think I might need to do something more with our line. Okay, this is the card that we're going to do first of all. And this is something I wanted to share with you because it's actually really nice to kind of show that different parts of the company and different releases from different times all work together. Because actually what I've done for this one is I've bought in the Slimline Collection decorative holly rectangle frames from Sue Wilson. It's a mouthful, isn't it?
That is a mouthful.
That's a mouthful. I did all that out of breath. I did all right there. CED 3221. I love this set. This set's recommended retail price is $21.99. In here you receive 4 dies, and each one of them, and I'm going to lift this up in the hope that you can see it, each one debosses holly on both sides of the cut line. So whether you're cutting them out as a panel to work with, or you're cutting them out as an aperture and you'd like to have that debossed holly run around the outside, you're going to achieve that effect. For my ones, I've chose to use the largest, and then I've used my plain panels, my plain DLs, to cut out the centre of it. So I've then ended up with a frame instead, with that just running around the outside as such. I'm lying to you actually, because that's done that bit. I've done that bit. I've cut out the outside of it with the die. But it's kind of the two together, is what I'm trying to say. Plain and these. But you don't have to. You could just cut it on a guillotine if you prefer. But it's nice to have that matching debossed holly line running around the project. Okay, on to our card. Let's chat card sizes. This is a biggie. We're going to go for 5 and just over a quarter actually, isn't it? Oh, maybe 5 1/4. Maybe 5 1/4-ish. That'll do. 5 1/4 by 9 3/4. So it's quite a big card. Lots of layers going on with this one. But it does give us a chance to bring in some of our beautiful papers. Now, I don't know about you, and I know I'm on my own on this one a little bit, because we asked recently on the group on one of our Saturday morning questions, are you team silver or team gold when it comes to Miri card? And I asked the question, very confident in my thought that gold would win, and it didn't. Silver, well and truly, was triumphant. So maybe not everyone is quite as taken with gold mirror as I am, but especially when it comes to Christmas, gold mirror is my go-to. Especially if I'm working with reds and greens. If I'm going purples and blues and more sort of modern Christmassy colours, more wintry colours, then I will tend to go for silver. But for this one, it had to be gold. But we're going to bring in our brand new paper and we're going to foam pad this or foam tape this over the top. So this of course is our brand new green. Now I'm going to be honest, I really do struggle to cover this up because it is so beautiful, it is so textured, it is such a lovely paper that I would genuinely be very tempted to remove the middle and use it for a different project if it wasn't one that you was all watching me make, because it's just too yummy to cover, to be fair. And we're only going to see the smallest little edge of it, which actually is kind of naughty. And then we're going to bring in the red because we want to tie this into our poinsettias that are going to be coming up on the top of our project. So we've gone for the green, we've then broke it up with some white because that's going to match in with our background to our filigree dye. So we're going to go from our white and into our red. And then we're going to go for our main focal dye. Now for speed, and I would like to fit in a couple of demos tonight before I have to leave you all and before Pete sort of tells me that I've sent you all to sleep. So I've gone ahead and I've cut this out already, and I've just used a piece of gold mirror card and I've taken my main filigree panel and I've used a plain outside edge, not the one that comes with it because that's quite close to the edge. So I've used the next size up from the layering set. You don't have to do that. Again, you could trim it with a guillotine if you prefer, but it's just easier to have the matching dies, isn't it, to be honest with you. So I've trimmed it out. I've then taken a self-adhesive sheet and I've added it to a piece of white card. So I've got a sticky back into it, and we're going to bring this in and we're going to place that over the top, just so that underneath all of our swirly poinsettia panels, we've got that beautiful self-adhesive area that can then be covered with gilding flakes, mica powders, or in our case, glitter. So we're going to make sure that's nice and firmly pushed down, just so that when we add glitter to it, it doesn't go underneath and lift up and create little bumps in any of our die cut area. Excuse me, sorry. We're bringing a piece of paper to work on, and we're going to bring in our diamond white gemstones glitter. Oh, Peter. What's this?
I blame you.
I told you I'd got an open one.
Oh.
Can't open another one. It'd be
start.
about me sixth.
What in a
Have a look
day?
in the tub beside you. I think there's one on the top.
I feel I've been told off. Guys.
Challenge Annika, literally like 2 minutes before we went live, I said to him, we're going to need some white glitter. And I said to him, there's some out on the desk. And he's gone, I've got a new one. Can't open it willy-nilly.
Oh, it came from the telly tub.
From the telly tub. The telly tub. We're bringing this one. This one's open. Much
Peter's
nicer
been
than
told
white.
off.
You're never told off. But you do it again and you get a star. Okay, so we're bringing our glitter. We'll sprinkle this over the top. And we'll just go in and burnish this down. Are they all still with us this evening, or have we sent them to sleep, or have they done a runner due to our craziness?
No, a bit of loving for Silver Mirror card.
Yeah, as I say, Silver did really win. I can't remember the numbers, but it was like 20 people went for gold and like 60 went for silver or something. And I genuinely was quite a surprise, because I suppose we all live under that belief if it's our favourite, then it must be everybody else's favourite, but it whatever that may be. But it really isn't, is it? It just shows that how wrong I can be. Quite often the case, to be fair. Okay, so we'll tap off that excess. And there we have our beautifully glittered gold panel. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that pretty? And that glitter just kind of goes in and sits behind it. And you can brush off the excess, of course, especially with a mirror card. It's nice and easy to get rid of. We'll tap that back into the jar so that we can come back to that later. Now, I'm sure you've seen us mention this previously, but just in case you haven't, our glitters, our gemstone glitters, originally launched in our perfume bottle style bottles. We have just changed them and they are now coming to you in tubs. Now this will be dependent on the colour you order and the stockist you order them from, to be honest with you, because of obviously these are still available and we're kind of phasing those ones out and bringing these ones in. So it's probably going to be about another year before I can confidently tell you that it's unlikely you're going to find the perfume bottle style now, and it'll all be in the tubs as kind of stocks change in different stockists. But they are starting to come through in most stockists, especially in like white, red, green. But just keep an eye out. And it genuinely, to you guys, financially, it doesn't actually make any difference as such. You get the same amount of glitter per pot. It is literally just the vessel that's changing that they're in. We found they were easier, and we try to listen to your feedback. And although the perfume bottle styles are lovely, we had a few comments that said, do you know what, actually a jar would be an easier one for us to work with them within. So if we hear that, we change things. So that's why they were changed. Okay, on to our project. Now from here we could leave this as it is. We don't have to add any more onto it if we don't want to. But actually I thought that frame that we mentioned, that lovely holly frame, would be a nice addition and a nice next layer to what we're going to be doing. So we've gone ahead and we've trimmed this out already so that we can add this over the top. And I've just added some foam tape around the edge of it. And we're going to bring this in and place it over the top. And it just kind of smartens up those edges and gives a bit more pattern to our layers. Now again, you might actually choose to leave this as it is. You might really like the gold and the white. You might think, well, I'm just going to bring in a sentiment and add that onto here. Or I might actually not use the tiles. I might go for just a little small sentiment. I might go for a horizontal card instead of a vertical card. There are so many options with a panel like this. Or you might actually think, well, you know, okay, we've added a holly frame now, but you might think, well, actually, he's right. I'm not going to add poinsettias over the top of this. I'm going to add daisies on there. Or you might look at this and think, well, that beautiful debossing, I don't want to add more to it in the sense of building up from it. I'm just going to add on to that. I'm going to colour this with something instead. Now, whenever we're looking at this level of deboss, we could, of course, bring in a StazOn ink pad, rub over the top and actually really highlight that texture, and that could look really pretty. Or we could go in and colour it in with alcohol markers and make those sort of pop out with that kind of ink instead. Or, of course, we can build up on top of them. We're going to choose to build up on top because that's kind of where we're going with this one. So we're going to bring in our stamp press and we're going to find one of our tile stamps to show you how those work, just in case you've got any questions on those. He says, if you could find them.
Penny just asked, evening Penny.
Good evening, Penny.
She asks, I think that's, where'd you get here, the holly frame from that you used? Could we just have a little flash of what that holly frame is again, please?
So this one, the holly frame from Sue Wilson. So it'll be available from the stockists. As always, you can head to our stockist list, which you'll find on the website, which is just changing actually, which confuses the life out of me. What is the new one? I need to write this down somewhere. www.creativeexpressions.uk.
We're going to have to polish up on this.
We do. Go to jamierogerscrafts.com. It'll take you to the same website. But we are honestly, today I've spent half the day. If I feel a little bit fried or look a little bit fried, we have this lovely guy who is building our new website for us. He's an absolute star. He's such a nice guy and he's a joy to be with. But honestly, it could be Mother Teresa and she would still end up with me being a gibbering wreck, sort of rocking back and forth in a corner because of... And Pete come in and Pete left me. Pete completely left me today. He set me up. He knew that I was with the tech guy and I was sat there and he did a runner and he went off and he was cutting stencils and all sorts. So, you know, he was all right, but I was dumped and I was left. And he come down to my workroom at about 5 o'clock and kind of, how was your day and that? And I said to him, well, I don't know. I said, because of... The tech guy basically seems to be talking to me about all these different things. And now on our website, what have we got? We've got tags, categories, and then Pete found it hilarious because I was like, and it isn't this. And I told him it wasn't this. And I'm like, he's got this new thing that I need to learn about. And it sounds like taxidermy. It's not taxidermy, but it sounds like that. And that was it. I lost him for about half hour of laughter because he thought I was trying to work out what taxidermy was. And I'm like, it wasn't. I can't remember what it was called. But he just talks in a different language of all of these techie words. And it goes in and it just gets really, yeah, I'm better with card and paper. I really am. And I can't even now I can't remember what the word was. But it was something, and when we now put products onto the website, which I kind of have to understand in some format, we now have to work out, does it need to be a category, a tag, or a taxidermy. Not that it's taxidermy, but whatever that word was that I can't remember. And it just blew my mind. It's been a long day.
Laura says this was so funny.
Yeah.
I think Laura was trying to just peacefully have her lunch.
Laura was present trying to eat a lunch, and
Tracy
did pop by, and yeah, it was a whole conversation, and they all just picked on me.
She just come back from a holiday, and she must think, yeah, why did I come back?
I did say to her when she left, have you regretted returning today?
Did you?
You kind of wish
that
you'd got out of the country and stayed gone. And she was like, no, it's lovely to be here. So, yeah, I don't know. I think she's as crazy as we are, really.
Jasmine says, was it analytics?
Oh, no, I would have known that one, but thank you for helping, Jasmine. It was definitely, it sounded like tax. Because I think when I was talking to him, I ended up calling it tax. And he looked at me like I was mad, which won't surprise you either. But that was my shortened version of taxidermy. But it weren't taxidermy. I've got no idea.
Taxonomy?
Is that what somebody suggested, or are you just inventing words over there?
Jasmine's next suggestion is taxonomy.
It could have been. That would make me think of taxidermy. It could have been.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have these chats.
I wish I was there.
You should have been there. You could have rescued me. I have no idea what half of what he spoke about. And I just had to sit there going, oh, yes, that makes perfect sense. I can do this. Thinking the minute you walk out of the door, I'm going to have no idea whatsoever. I'm not good at techie stuff, am I? I'm really not. And they keep leaving me with it
Neither
all.
am I.
And we have a whole team of people around here, and yet it's always me that gets nominated to go and do these things and understand them, and it don't work. Okay, I feel like we've possibly ventured into therapy. So I'm going to shush, and we're going to do what we're meant to be doing. So now we've stamped our image, we're going to bring in our matching die, and we're going to lay that over the top. And then, although this has got an extra width to it and a deboss line, you're still going to be able to match it perfectly to the outside of your stamped edge, because it's all allocated for, so that you can make that perfectly match up to where you need it to be. So I'm going to bring in some low tack tape, and we're going to anchor this down in place.
A lovely Kim's put some links onto the website. Thanks, Kim. It's a good job someone's there looking after us.
Thank you, Kim.
She's got one for the normal site and one for the trade site.
Oh, thank you very much, Kim. You are very good. She
very
can
good.
hear in my voice the pain of suffering with websites today, I feel. It's a whole world though, isn't it? You know, and if you've never... So I'm sure lots of you guys have dealt with websites, and probably know way more than I do. But if there's anybody out there who's never really looked behind the surface of a website, you know, we've all used them, we've all visited them, we're all potentially on one right now, you don't really realise half of what goes into them. Or I didn't, maybe it's just me. But it really is a whole world, and it is its own language. Or to me it is anyway. But very, very, very clever stuff. But... it's like Zabi, she talks to us about breadcrumbs and SEO and things. You know, straight over my head. I always thought I'd keep up with this when I was growing up. I was like, technology's amazing, I need to keep up with it. And I don't know, I think I got to about 12 and that was it. Gone. Okay, so that's now cut through beautifully for us. Beautiful deboss edge running around the outside. We obviously don't need the aperture for this, hence why I've taped it down. But of course we could have used this as an aperture die instead, and we could actually be sinking underneath our stamped images if we prefer, like Ian did on some of his examples. So everything's got a use, positive and negative. And of course, if we were to multi-cut these, like I am starting to here, this is where our tessellating part comes in, and actually being able to join them back up and turn them into our backgrounds. Now this one's got some foam tape on it, so it might not sit perfectly flat, but it'll give you the idea of what I mean about tessellating. I'm building them up into our much larger backings, if that's something we'd prefer to do. Even if like this, we just use the same stamp, but we change colour of inks, or we colour in slightly different ways, or different mediums, or highlight different pieces. You know, maybe you want to make a real focal of the wording on one and the gingerbread men on the others, or maybe just the holly and the berries or the stars, or maybe you want to go around and colour in that extra line detail, or maybe you want to highlight that indentation line running around the side. You've got all of those different ways to pick between them, or you could even leave a little gap and infill with glitters and flakes and treat it like grout, for instance, with actual tiling. So lots of different ways that you can kind of go off on those tangents. Now for our card, we're going to go to the next size up in our tile, and we're going to bring this in some gold mirror card, and we're going to place this down around the middle-ish of our project. And then we're going to bring in our Happy Christmas one, which has already been coloured with alcohol markers, and we're going to place this on the top, in the middle. And then we're going to go to our flowers. So we're going to use our flower die set, and we're going to bring in some of that beautiful paper. Now I am interested to know this evening, is anybody with us, here I go again, feeling like a clairvoyant? It is a clairvoyant, isn't it?
It is.
Have I got the right person? Is there anybody there? Is there anybody there who went to Gwen's demo day on Saturday? I hear it was a very, very lovely day, and I hear that you all had a very lovely time. But I would love to know if anybody in the room was there on the demo day, and if you was, did you treat yourself to any of the paper?
Is anybody in the room?
Is anybody in the room? Ooh.
You too.
It's coming up to Halloween.
It is.
Isn't it? Oh yeah, it's not far, is it? We could do fancy dress.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking, bed
We
sheet.
could do fancy dress, Pete.
Good.
Have I ever told you I had my head stolen?
What are you on about now? It's still there. You can still see it.
The one I've got still here, obviously, Pete. Although one does
Your
wonder.
head stolen?
I never told you this story. Oh, this is why this is going for a waffle. I'll give you another random story. This is many, 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 many moons ago.
I've heard about chickens and hedgehogs.
Chickens and
I've
no,
heard
this
about
is
heads.
no, many, many years. I've never been one for dressing up for Halloween. I'm not big on Halloween. I always wish I was. I love the way that lots of people, especially the Americans, big on Halloween. I think it's lovely. I always think that'd be a joy to have that much kind of enthusiasm and get up and go for these kind of things. But me and it just have never really bothered. Anyway, this year in particular, I was asked to go to a party out for the evening, pub, club thing, and dress up. So I spoke to Charlie, who at the time worked for us before she left. She used to teach our lessons.
Yeah.
And her parents owned a joke shop and a fancy dress store. And I said to her, I've been asked and I don't know what I'm going to wear. And she was like, you need to be a gatekeeper. I don't even know what I was, something. And anyway, it came with a sword and a whole outfit. And I don't even remember what half of it was, but part of it was this plasticky head thing, that mask thing, but big thing. And off I went out for the evening, as you do.
Sorry, what was that?
I was in the pub, as you do, stood at the bar, and somebody come in and just took my head, and ran. And they went off down the road. And I was like, oh, that's funny. They'll be back in a minute, thinking it was somebody I knew, thinking this is just a standard, funny thing to do. Oh, no. That head never appeared again. I think, if I remember right, 50 quid that head cost me. Because I then had to pay for it, didn't I? Because it was gone.
How did you explain that part just like that?
Well, it was the truth. Somebody just walked in and took me head. And I was like, oh, it'll be Dave or whoever. And it'll be back in a minute. But no, it was somebody else. And it must have been like a dare, or maybe they didn't like me, I don't know. But yeah, gone. Never did I see me gatekeeper's head thing again.
The rest of the evening just...
looking for me head. Spent hours looking for that thing. Hours. And it was even worse because I knew the owners, Charlie.
Of the head.
Well, the owners of the store. So I didn't want to let them down because I'd kind of, gone out on this limb to have this fancy dress costume, and I'd done it like the day
of. You go roaming
of.
the streets the next morning to see if there's a head laying in a plant pot or something.
Well, we did quite a lot of looking the eve of. I think we'd kind of then turned it into a bit of like a pub crawly thing.
See a bus go past with his head in it.
Just flattened on the road, just kind of... Was it Mrs. Doubtfire where they run over her head?
Oh yeah, where her face comes off.
Her face comes off and they run over the face. I don't think we need your Mrs. Doubtfire impressions. I really feel our lives have gone to a new level of insanity this evening, Peter. You don't get this with Gwen. Gwen's very
well
professional.
behaved.
She would be talking about how she's formed her flowers and how she would stick them together and how lovely they are. And here we are chatting about Mrs. Doubtfire with you doing impressions. I really don't know if this is what people want to tune into on a Monday evening.
Lynn says it's not worth losing your head over.
It wasn't, no.
Kim says you were headless and legless.
No,
Well,
I was very well
jury's
behaved,
out on that
Kim.
one, guys.
I promise. I was very well behaved.
Oh, Debbie. Debbie knows us too well. Lovely Debbie Frost says you two are crazy.
Thank you.
Sorry,
I think
Debbie.
maybe. Okay, in with our random stories, I promise I've created a card somewhere along the lines. If you have any questions, please yell. I can tell. Which one did we make now? This one? This is the one we made, isn't it? I don't know. This is like that cup thing they do in New York. I moved them while I was talking and now I don't know which one's which. Got no idea. I think it was this one we made. If it was, I prefer the free gems instead of the singles. The free gems look nicer, don't they? But you could go either way, whatever you prefer. But I think the free look nicer. I don't know. I don't know if that was me or the kit packers. My lovely parents. I think they've done that one and I did this one. But either way, what does it matter? Nice to see. So we're going to give this away when I can work out which one it is. I might Pete watch it again so we can work out who it is because I can't watch this. I can't watch me. Okay, so our question this evening. Oh, we've given you the answer to the question already. If you've kept up with anything that we've been chatting about this evening at all.
Kim literally says, are we having a question tonight?
You are having a question this evening. Your question this evening is, what date is Francois' shows? So what date is Francois' shows? So this is our brand new woodwear shows. We're going to be sneaky peeking the products for them on Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. But earlier we told you what day the show is. So what is the date of that show? I'm sure somebody was paying attention. There's been a lot of waffle, so possibly it's got lost in sort of the evening. But if you can remember, pop it in the comments and we'll pick one lucky winner to win whatever we make this evening. Okay?
Hayley says the one on the left.
The one on the left was what? The one we made now?
This is why I didn't want to ask the question. I knew that was coming. We do need... I don't know what we need.
An adult is what we need. We need somebody who's going to be with us on these lives and keep us on the straight and narrow. It used to be your job, but I feel I've corrupted you. Yeah. And now there's no hope.
Poor Sharon's trying to make a sample, but she's giggling too much. I blame you. Sorry, Sharon.
Sorry, Sharon. Okay, what are we going to do next? Should we do another card? Should we do that? Okay. So this is the one we're going to do next, maybe. We'll see how this one goes and if we can remember which one it is. So this is the card we're going to do next. And this one, I love this because this is such an easy technique to do and we can do it with any of our DL dies. And this is what I love because it takes what you kind of think when you look at a DL die, it's a DL die and that's kind of what I'm getting and that's what it's going to do. And that's kind of my mindset quite often when I look at a product. But actually with these ones, it's so much more than that because it can be tile cut, it can be snipped into, and it can create these beautiful lacy effects in the front of your cards really, really easily. And this is why, and I often wonder, you know, if we explain this enough and if we show this enough. So, and this is a nice way to talk about it and sort of bring it up. Whenever we do our dies, if it's possible, and it's not always possible, it's not always needed, but if it's possible, if it's sensible, if it's going to benefit you, we will leave the outside edges as a separate die, or sometimes leave them off completely. And by that, in case you don't know what I mean here is our snowflake panel. There is no attached edge to this. So when it cuts in your cardstock, it is going to stay in your cardstock. That will literally cut as an open fretwork panel within the card. The outside die comes with it. So if you want to cut it out and you want to have it as a separate panel, the die is there. And you can use them together. You can of course use them separately. You might just wish to use this as an aperture and then create a frame that sits over the top of that fretwork panel if you prefer. You might wish to cut a backing colour to put under that panel instead, or a self-adhesive sheet to put under it, and if so, then that's the perfect die to do that too. But it's actually just about using this panel on its own for this card. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in this piece of card, so we're being conscious, and we're going to take the die and we're going to place the die on one side of the plate. We don't particularly want it in the middle for this card. You might want to do a fold where you do want it in the middle and there's nothing wrong with that. But for this card, we're going to take it over to one edge and we're going to leave kind of like an inchish, maybe 3/4 of an inchish to that side of the plate. And we're going to lay our card over the top of that. And in an ideal world, we're going to try and keep it all relatively level so that we're not going off on a skew-ith. We've got enough wiggle room that we can trim it so it's level once it's cut. So it's not the end of the world. But if we put the card on level with the edge of the plate, and we know that we've put the die on level with the edge of the plate, then by theory, we should be good to have a bit more room over here for the next stage of the card. But it's really not the end of the world. It's just an idea if we can. So we'll take this and we'll send this through the machine. Has anybody guessed the right date for Francois' shows?
There's a lot of confusion. I think they've proper made them lose it.
Should we help them?
Jasmine says all I remember is 2 and 6, 26. Sue
What
says,
was that then? 'Cause that isn't Francois times 2 and 6.
No, I know.
So what was 2 and 6?
Sue says I'm losing it. The day is soon.
I feel like you're all like falling apart with us this evening. I don't know where my card's gone. Why did I say 2 and 6, 26? I can remember saying that. I can remember it was like
Your
a bingo
hobby
call.
maker times.
Was they my hobby maker times? Is that why we told you 2 and 6?
Jasmine says that's literally all I remember from
Francois
that
on
section.
at 3 and 8. She's not 2 and 6. 3 and 8, 38. We could have a bingo night.
We could have it, yeah.
There was
11.
genuine excitement there.
Yeah.
So far this
We need
evening,
a little
I've got us
bingo
dressed
machine.
up and I've got us in a bingo hall.
We can have a little bingo, little ball machine thing. We could send out the...
Do you think that would work? We did that
No.
at Highlight, didn't we? Was we there for that or did I just watch them do that?
No, we did.
Was I there for a bingo night?
I think so.
No, I don't think I was. I think I
No.
watched it. But I think it was very funny. But they're much better than we are. I don't think we'd handle that very well. But we could. Maybe Christmas. We could have a games night when it gets to Christmas.
We could. They could all
I
get their
don't
drinks
know.
ready. Kim could
I'm
be
trying
down
to
the
push
pub.
it further down the line so that I've possibly potentially forgot about it and you've spoken me out of it before it happens so that I don't have to do it because I have a feeling it would be terrible.
Mandy's asked for a clue.
A clue? Yeah, we can do a clue. I'll give it some thought. Our cut-out's gone through absolutely beautifully. As you can see, all of these pieces beautifully cut in, and we can stand and poke them all out, but you really don't want to watch me do that, do you? So we're not going to bother, but you can see they've all cut through beautifully, and that'll fall out perfectly. Now, of course, we can use that panel as it is. We can leave it there. We could bring in another die and put it over the top of it. Or if I could find my scissors, which I think I've put in another room. I don't know what goes on in here in a week. I say I've put them in another room. I think they might have been scissor napped. So instead, we're going to bring in the smallest pair of scissors. So just talk amongst yourselves for the next 7 to 10 days while I cut this out. But what we can do is trim across here on a guillotine, not with these, because this is silly. But Pete isn't taking the hint to go and find me any bigger scissors, so we're going to stick with it.
I think we're all enjoying watching.
I feel like a little manicurist.
Okay.
So we'll take away the top part, so we've left with the edge here, and again on a guillotine we could level that up a bit. And then again you can leave this top part if you wish to, but of course we're going to take this away. So we've got an exposed top and bottom. And that I just think looks a bit neater and looks a bit more filigree, but you don't have to if you don't wish to. Now at this stage for the card we're doing, this is kind of how I'd leave it. I'd level that side up just slightly so we've got a straighter side to it, but that's where I'm aiming to be. And this is the way we would make the card we're aiming for now. But you don't have to. We could, and we're going to go for around here because I actually want to show you, again, and you do this on a guillotine. Again, not silly scissors. These are silly. Pete's gained a 5th star by not going to get me any scissors.
I didn't even know I got the 4th. Sue says, Wednesday you're doing another live. Was that for your sneaky peek?
Wednesday's sneaky peek night at 7 for woodwear, but when is the shows? What date are the shows? That was the question. Has anybody got it, or do we have to?
Lynn says Rob is as lost as Jamie's head.
It's not a good day today, I'm sorry. Okay, so there we have our 2 pieces. And again, we're not necessarily going off on this tangent. It's more just trying to show you different ways to do it. So, or that you could do it. So maybe that's going to be an edge that you're going to use on its own, as you can see. Maybe it's going to be this part that you want to use as a wider edge, or maybe you want to leave it as it is and trim off this part so you'll open on 3 sides instead. It's just trying to show you that because of it is one die, don't just treat it as one die. There are so many different ways we can use it. You can of course use these underneath your tile apertures too to create some beautiful filigree panels under those. So it might be that you're going to really home in on it and use it in a small panel too. For our one, we are going to go ahead to one I've already cut earlier, hopefully, which is here and leveled up, and we're going to bring in a couple of pieces to add on to this. So I've already used my Happy Christmas stamp that I've used down one side, and we're going to add this on with some of our glue, using some of the azure blue, if I remember rightly, from the Foundations card. And we're going to place that going down on this edge to fill up that white area. How are you going to give a clue then for Francois' shows? How are you going to word that one? What is the date?
It's a weekday.
It's a weekday. That was as much help as a hole in there.
Well, we're going through the whole calendar at this rate.
Are we? Well, you can't just leave them just randomly guessing. That isn't fair.
It wasn't the day that you were on telly.
Well, obviously. How can she be on the day I wasn't on?
As in the day that you were on. It's not that day.
So that's ruled out a Friday.
So it's ruled out a Friday.
Okay. We're playing a long game, I see.
4 days left.
Well, no, because there's 7 days in a week.
No, I said a weekday.
Oh, a weekday. Okay, so it's not a Friday. I thought the games were coming at Christmas. I didn't realise we were going to start early. Okay, so onto our cards. So what I've done here is I've trimmed the front down from my card blank so that I'm left with all of this open space. And you don't have to do this, and you can in fact take the die and actually use the die on your card blank. And that is a completely different way to do it. You could literally, instead of trimming this down, take the die, lay it over the side and send it through your machine. I just find that's a little bit trickier because you're going to send it through that way. And then I tend to get like a mark on my card, and I know you can reverse it, but I don't know. I just don't get on with that in that format. If you've got a manual machine, perhaps you might find that easier. So different roads leading to the same place, but for me, I would prefer to cut a separate panel and do it this way. We're then going to take some glue. I'm going to go across this area, and we're going to place this panel over the top of the matching panel on our card, lining that up so that our spines match, or our edges match on both sides. So if it's not a Friday, it wouldn't be Shrove Tuesday. I don't know what Shrove. Have they got it? Thank goodness, because I'm finding it very hard, and you're not giving me any help here at all. And I feel you're just kind of letting them go off on these exercises.
They're paying detective work. Because Sue says, but Gwen does live on a Thursday. I feel they're trying to eliminate days.
Well, I was trying to think of a way to help. But this live's going to end, and it's going to be like 7,212 comments, and it's just
They're going to be ringing
Hobby
Hobbymaker and saying Jamie's on live, but he's no idea.
No, I know when it is, but I can't tell you when it is if it's meant to be a guest. So we need to give a clue. Oh, honestly, Peter, you've made. I think you're up to about 12 stars tonight. 12 stars. Okay, so we're going to put our panel on over the top there, and then we're going to open this up, and we're going to bring in a matching panel, and we're going to put some glue onto this so that we can cover the inner workings to that panel, just so you don't see the foam tape through the fretwork. And we're going to place that going over the side here. Now, it might have been nice to stamp something on here or decorate in here as well, but it's just nice to make sure we cover that foam tape element, just so we don't see that through the back of the panel and it doesn't stick to the insert. And then we're going to bring in our Happy Christmas. Now again, for speed, I'm sorry, I'm sure you've seen me stamp enough already. If you haven't, then yell and we'll go through it. But I've just stamped and cut out one of the tiles, and then I've coloured in again with alcohol markers, which tends to be my colouring medium of choice. And then we're going to bring in some more of the poinsettias. These again are the new ones. And we're going to take the lids off of the back of these for our foam tape. Again, just going on with 1mm foam tape. And around here somewhere, which I think I might have lost. Oh, I think I've lost them. Come back, ferns. I've dropped them on the floor and stood on them. That's not a good look for a fern, is it? That really isn't a very good look. Shall we see if we can iron that out? No, I don't know. We might be able to get it back looking something like a fern. Maybe. You're back to Mrs. Doubtfire's face again. That was such a good film. We should watch that again.
That was hilarious.
Love Robin Williams. Such a comedy genius.
I thought you said Robbie Williams then.
No, he's not a comedy genius. He's a singer. He might be funny. I don't know. Never met him. He had a film out recently, didn't he? And we didn't watch that either. Wasn't he a monkey?
I don't know.
I don't know what the face is. I have a feeling in the film, you know, like the Gorillaz band, they have characters instead of them. I think his film is him, but not him, he's a monkey.
Oh.
I think. But I might have dreamt all of the above. But I think. Because I have a feeling I read something like critics were very confused why the character, he hadn't chose to have like an animated version of himself. He had chose to have an animated version of a monkey as him instead. Does that make sense?
I'll say yes.
But I don't know a lot about him. We did watch his documentary on Netflix. That was interesting. Didn't we? About all I know.
We did.
Okay, so while we're randomly chatting, I'm sorry. Here we have our finished card with our beautiful filigree panel. Now, I know it's not easy for you to see it that way, but I wanted you to kind of see the filigreenness of the openness there. If we lay that out, it kind of gives you an idea of what we've actually created and what's going to shine through. Now, we could have put some acetate in there. We could have put some vellum behind it. If you're worried about it not being strong enough, maybe you'd like this to be more of an ornament, or maybe you'd like it to be a lantern, then, of course, you could double, triple cut and layer that panel instead, so it's got some real strength to it. This is cut out of 300 GSM cardstock, so it is actually quite strong, certainly strong enough to be the front of a card for the shelf life traditionally for a card, but if you wanted to go more for a decoration that's kind of come out year after year, then you could of course strengthen that. Even a piece of acetate put in the back of it, just anchored down to each side, would give you some more strength to that too.
Was your film a better man?
What, the Robbie Williams film? Maybe, that does ring a bell.
Laura says better man, if that helps.
Am I right, Laura, that his character, his avatar, is that the... I don't know. Is that what we'd class it as, an avatar? I don't know.
But then Robbie Williams did himself as a performing monkey, didn't he?
Pardon?
Robbie Williams did himself as a performing monkey.
That's what I'm saying. You said it now like it was fact. When I said it, you looked at me like I'd lost the plot.
Robbie. I thought you were talking about Robin.
No, not Robin Williams, not Mrs. Doubtfire.
This
Robbie,
is where I
as
was
in
very
take that.
confused.
Well, I don't know why you'd be confused by that. Robin Williams, he's been
He
Mrs. Doubtfire.
He did.
Weren't he the genie in Aladdin?
Maybe.
If I told you he was a giant purple man,
But he
that
did,
would have been correct too.
Me and My Monkey, didn't he? That was one of his songs, I think. Or was that his new song?
Who are you on about now?
Robbie Williams.
Robbie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't listen to the radio. I've got no idea. If it's not Dolly and Cher, I've got no idea. Okay, so there is our lovely card created where we now venture off. This is very bad. Onto the random world of music. So that's 2 cards. Have you all made your guesses on what date Francoise is on Hobbymaker for her new collection? I promise on Wednesday
It's
we'll
a
be
good
more
job
with
Francoise isn't watching.
It's very good.
She
Has
might
Gwen
be
left
watching.
the building? I hope Gwen's left the building. She makes me nervous. She's all professional, and there we are with Robbie and Robin and I don't even know what anymore. How are we doing for time? Have we bored these people sufficiently, do we feel? We'll leave you in peace because we're back on Wednesday. If we get a good night's sleep, we might make more sense come Wednesday, I promise. So what do we need to know before we go? Oh, I know what we haven't chatted about, actually. It's on my little card as well, and I haven't told you about it. Die of the Week. Today, we launched our brand new Die of the Week, and this is the first time that one of my dies has made it into the Die of the Week spot. So I'm actually rather excited about this because I love this die. It's one of my faves, honestly, truthfully. Love it. So much we can do with this. 3 dies in the set. The recommended retail price for this set is $15.99. But if you have a little look around at the stockists, you may find that this week and this week only, some of them potentially might have it on offer for 20% off, making it only £12.79. It is an optional offer that they have to offer you if they would like to. Our way of kind of giving a bit more of a celebration to the die of the week, if you will. With this one, in with your free dies, you have one like reef style butterfly ring that not only cuts out, and it does literally cut them out so they are separate butterflies, so you get the aperture, which is what it's really about. But when I did it, I didn't just want to give you a load of apertures. I wanted to give you little tiny butterflies that you could then use with beautiful deboss patterns on them. So actually, you're kind of getting 2 for 1 because you've got the cutout and you've got the aperture. You've then got separate inside and outside edges. So that means that you can cut this in and leave it in your card if you wish to. And of course you can have a solid centre if you want to build up on it or leave it as it is. Or you can cut it open and actually have it as a frame as such. So lots of different ways in which you can use it. Now, I'm not ever meant to show you many of these, but I will give you a little flick through. This is one that I've done today and actually shared at 4 o'clock, and it's showing you how, because of your outside edges are separate, not only can we choose to use the outside edge or not use the outside edge, it also means we can choose to use other edges. So I've brought in the plain circles and I've used one of those around the outside edge of the butterflies. And then I've built up with one of our circular sentiments. I've layered that onto our scallop circles as well, and brought in some of our diamond white glitter, and then finished it off with our cosmos flower and our ferns, all kind of working together. If you wish to use the butterflies on their own, and you wondered what I meant about that deboss work, we'll see if we can focus in on this one for you. This is the detail that you're going to see on each of those butterflies. So each one of them is going to have that beautiful deboss work going through to it. So when you do make a card with this, and you can choose to use them together at the same time, and I'll show you what I mean by that in a sec, but if actually you was to cut out, I got the purple, I haven't got all of them here, but if you was to cut out the purple version, so imagine that's in the lilac, and you cut that out, you can use, of course, the cutout, and then you can use the butterflies on the next project if that's how you wish to work it. Or, and I'll show you this one actually, because this one's using the new paper. This time, I kind of did like what Gwen mentioned, or that technique from Gwen, and I've kind of actually cut them in and I've left them in place in the card with a self-adhesive sheet on the reverse of them. So they're all still in place, but they're still there, cut and debossed to create that beautiful feel. And I suppose I was going a bit rustic with this one, which I really liked. So this is using our brand new paper, and I've used our brand new paper to cut the foliage. I've used it to cut the main panel. I've used it to cut and form the flower, which I absolutely love. Do you know, years back, and I am going back about 10 years, in the shop, we had a range of flowers, and they were big flowers, bigger than this, and they come in with brooches on the back, and they was designed as wedding flowers, and people would come in and buy them like corsage flowers, brooch flowers, and they were made of like that, like hessian-y, meshy kind of material. And when I made this today, this really reminded me of that whole range of flowers. And I thought, well, it's rare to get a paper that I can cut and form to make look like them, if that makes any sense. And I was really pleased with that because I thought that looked kind of lovely. So again, one of the shades for the flower, one for the foliage, one for the main panel. Delicate word, again, cut from the same panel and the same colour, and then another one of the colours actually used in the background here to kind of complete that rustic look. And I won't share any more with you because obviously at 4 o'clock every day this week another one will appear, and there's only 7 to share with you, and it'll be nice if some of them are a bit of a surprise as the week goes on. But it gives you a bit of an overview of what you could be creating with this die set, just so you've got a glimpse at what's coming up. The die set, once again, should be $15.99, but you may find it's not a compulsory thing, but some of the stockists may well honour our kind of special offer for Die of the Week celebration, which will make it only £12.79. The code number, if you wish to type into Google to help your search, is CEDJRO63, and it is the Wings of Wonder collection butterfly confetti. All right. That wasn't too bad, was it? I love my little die of the week. I really enjoy this, and I know I often say this, but I love the way that it gives us the chance to bring you one die and then try and find 7 different bits of inspiration or ways to use it to really put that die or that concept through its paces. And this week I've kind of kept them very similar in how I've done them. It's kind of been die of the week and then a floral display around the corner of it. But I kind of like that because it shows you how that bit makes such a difference to the background, whether it's a cut in, a cut out, or a both together as such, and then how we wish to build it up. And something else I really like, and I know I'm just off on a random tangent now, but I love it when I get the opportunity to bring you inspiration when I take my creative expressions dies that I've designed and mix them with our newer dies, our Jamie Rogers Crafts dies, because it really shows how actually it's all come out the same mind and it all kind of works together. Because of, other than that butterfly confetti die, all of the other dies on these, other than the Best Wishes, are new Jamie Rogers dies. They're the new Jamie Rogers Crafts dies. So it's only the Best Wishes, which was another one of the Creative Expressions dies. And there's no reason for that. It's just more trying to show you how both parts of my collections or brands kind of come together and work together. Kind of the idea there. Do we have any questions, or can we leave these people in peace?
No, I think we can leave them in peace.
Okay then, so I'll do your homework winner first. If you can get picking your winner for the cards that we made, if we can work out which ones we actually made this evening. We'll get there.
Potluck.
The good bit about our video, we can watch it back. Okay, or Pete can. So our homework winner this evening, or for this week I should say, for our hashtag pink competition is the lovely Lisa Rattray. So Lisa, if you are watching, could you please pop us an email over to jamierogerscrafts@hotmail.com and let us know that you are this week's homework winner for hashtag pink, and we will have your goodie bag popped in the post to you. Lisa made a beautiful card actually, and lots of you did. We only had 12 entries this week, which is a little bit sad if I'm honest. I don't like it when it's that low. Although it is of course lovely that you all have entered, it would be nice to see the numbers a little bit higher. So if you're feeling a bit shy, please don't be shy. Please come and join in with us, because it is lovely to see your inspiration fill our group and share with us all of your ideas, whether it is for the competition or just in general. But the competition, I really do like those, because it's kind of nice to set you a bit of a mission and then see how you all interpret that and where you take it. And this week's, if I remember rightly, was hashtag pink, so it got a bit of pink card and it had to have some elements of music on it. So it was kind of tailoring down a line to see where we kind of took that format or that idea. With that in mind, while we're chatting homework, let's chat about this week's homework. So at 5 p.m. today, our new homework mission started. And this week your hashtag is hashtag miles, as in it's 20 miles to Birmingham. So miles as in distance. And that is because of this week's is all about the theme of travel. So it might be that you're going to put some suitcases, it might be that you put an airplane, it might be that you put a car, it could be a cruise liner, it could be anything on it that you'd like to put on it that kind of gives that illusion or air of travel to it. We are looking for it to also feature buttons. Now your buttons could be actual buttons, it could be a die cut button, it could be a stamped button, it could be a little detail on the suitcases that are already there for you and you don't have to add any more to it. But somewhere on your project, we would like to see some attempt at some form of button element. Your colours can be any, and your size this week, we would like to see you do this on, is a DL card. So DL featuring buttons with a travel theme. If I've waffled and made no sense, which is very, very highly likely, do not fear. Pop onto the group, Creative Expressions official group on Facebook, and you can go to the event section and find all of the details in there for the event for this week. Your entries have to be in by 5 p.m. next Monday, which is the 20th of October. We've finally come up with a way to get to the date. Why did we not do that earlier? So the 20th of October is going to be the day that competition closes. Told you your homework, told you who's won. Over to you. Who is your winner? That's the most important bit.
Who's my winner?
Who's your winner?
Apologies for the unprofessionalism tonight. Thank you for joining us.
What do you mean?
We did kind of we did get there in the end, didn't we? So thank you all for your very patient patience. Congratulations this evening goes to someone who someone who apparently only has a 2-second attention span. Did very well, Sue. Congratulations, Sue Hawes. So yes, congratulations to you. If you can send us an email, jamie@jamierogerscrafts@hotmail.com. Let us know if you'd like your cards signed or not, and we'll get them signed and popped in the post to you. Have I done all my bits? Very
But you've got
unprofessionally.
another star because I felt we were at the point of you giving the name there. So I hit the little button.
Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. And congratulations to Sue. And thank you all for joining in our madness, which is the correct answer was Monday, wasn't it?
It was Monday, the 20th.
Monday the 20th at 3. And look on the card.
We didn't ask him to go into time. We did 3 and 8.
3 and 8. So you joined Francoise to show her new collection.
Oh, I thought he was about to get your 15th star then.
15th's gone up. Anyway, time we left him in peace.
Have decided that on
Jackanory
Wednesday...
corner is gone.
Decided on Wednesday that Pete's going to have the little music box because
I
don't think I can judge the anticipation.
I'm not sure which button I'll press, but...
Wow. Okay, so just to clarify and catch up, just in case that my waffles haven't made as much sense as they hopefully should this evening, on Wednesday at 7 p.m, we will be back for a sneaky peek of the brand new woodware collection. It genuinely is lovely. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit quirky. It's very Francoise, and I think you're going to really like this because it is really cool, isn't it? It's a different twist. It's different to what I've seen from woodware or from Francoise before, and it is really genuinely lovely. So join us 7 p.m. on Wednesday when we'll give you a bit of a sneaky peek. We're going to have quite a few examples here to share with you from Laura, Siobhan, Christine, and a few from me. So we'll have lots of inspiration for you. We might even try and fit in a demo or two. I don't know about that. We'll see how we go for time. And then Francoise shows will be coming up on Monday. On Monday, she will be with you on Hobbymaker at 3 p.m. and at 8 p.m. So we will not be back next Monday for our Monday night natter because it's going to be a bit heavy for you to watch both. And you know what we're like. If we start at 7, it's very unlikely we're going to be out of the way by 8 and you don't want us all evening. So what we will do instead is we will be with you on Tuesday. So that will be Tuesday the 21st at 7 p.m. And that will, of course, be the Woodware Stockist launch day too. So we might even have a little bit more woodware inspiration on that Tuesday too. In the meantime, not only, of course, do we have the Woodware Sneaky Peek on Wednesday and the shows on Monday and the back again on Tuesday bit, we've got our Gwen. Professionalism will be restored. Gwen will be with you on Thursday at 7 p.m. when she will be looking at the COG collection. So we've got lots coming this week. And if you didn't catch last week's Thursday night natter with Gwen, excuse me, Gwen had a little look through the Bundle Bargains collection with the cover plates. Excuse me. These are still available. There's still a few of these about at the stockists. These are a great bundle. They are $55.96 recommended retail price. You save over £20. They're only $34.99 and it gives you all 4 dies in the pack. If you haven't seen this, do, if you'd like to, go and catch up on the YouTube channel because Gwen does an amazing job of showing you through all of this and endless inspiration from Sue and the DT and herself with these, and she makes some beautiful cards that me and Pete really enjoyed sitting and watching last Thursday. So if you haven't seen it, do go and check that live out too. Thank you all very much for joining us this evening. We look forward to being back with you on Wednesday at 7 p.m. for the sneaky peek of woodware. Good night from me.
And good night from me.
Thank you all again. See you soon.
Take care. Bye.